Good afternoon, Jamie Breen here. It is July 9th, 2024, a rainy afternoon in Atlanta. We certainly need the rain, so glad to see it. Welcome back to my vlog. It's been a couple weeks. I was out of pocket last week. I was at the beach in North Carolina, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, near Morehead City. I had a wonderful time. Took a couple boat rides. My brother-in-law has a nice boat, and we went out to the Cape, Shark Island, and Shackleford one day, and just had a great time parking on the beach and just enjoying a great 4th of July. So it was a lot of fun. We typically go to Atlantic Beach this time of year. My brother-in-laws have a small beach cottage where so it's sometimes 7 to 8 people, one bathroom. So it was an adventure, but we had an awful lot of fun. And but glad to be home. Hot Atlanta again. Sorry for the noise you may hear in the background. We've got the dehumidifier, the fan, and the air conditioning going. It's been 90 plus degrees here, although we're currently having a bit of a sun shower, so that might bring the temperature down a little bit. Sadly, our yard, we've been in a more typical Atlanta kind of thunderstorm rain in the afternoon pattern, but our yard has just gotten absolutely toasted. We have an irrigation system, but sadly it isn't hooked up properly. Not to get into the politics of Atlanta city government, but our water system is a mess, and they've been rebuilding the sewer system for the last 20 years that we've been in this house, which means that when you run your water, the more water you use, you pay both the water usage, which is a linear kind of expense. But then also you pay an exponential charge for sewer. The more water you use, the more you have to pay for sewer maintenance, which I guess makes sense at some level. But it's sort of the function is somewhat draconian, and the solution for this is to get a separate irrigation meter. So water that goes into the ground theoretically doesn't go into the sewer, and so you shouldn't have to pay the draconian escalating sewer fee. Unfortunately, when we got the irrigation meter when we moved into this house, the clown that hooked it up only the first 2 zones of a 9-zone irrigation system, only hooked up the first 2 zones to the irrigation meter. So when we run the sprinkler, we have to pay this ridiculous sewer charge. So on the list of things to get fixed, and something you don't think about until you get 2 weeks in a row of 100-degree weather with no rain. And while we do have zoysia grass, sadly it's I think this year is even zoysia couldn't handle the heat, but I'm told it will come back, and so anyway, so that's the information on the yard, the home and garden front for this week. So returned from North Carolina, got back on Saturday, back swimming again, back in the water. I didn't train very much last week. I did swim in the ocean a little bit, but nothing serious. And then back in the water this week, training pretty hard. And we got a very, very exciting piece of news over the weekend. So I have a window, August 6th through August 11th of 2026, that neap tide. I am position 1 for the Masterpiece boat out of Dover to attempt my swim across the English Channel. So I've got my window, I've got my boat reserved, and this is very, very exciting. It's no easy task to get a boat, and we're very excited. The Masterpiece had a solo crossing just last weekend, so water temperature is about 59, 60 degrees. So it's it's kind of chilly. But a month on, I think I can expect. This is one of the few times where global warming is perhaps perhaps my friend. But I think I can expect 62, 63 degree water in the channel when I go, and that's very welcome. 62, 63 degree water routinely. I've swum in Lake Michigan, including over the last several years in the Big Shoulders race. So it's something that I'll have to work very hard to acclimate to water that cold for that long a period of time. I expect to be in the water 12 hours plus, but it's a perfect date. All goes according to plan. I may actually have the opportunity to swim across the English Channel on my 65th birthday, August 7th, 2026. So wouldn't that be a hoot? So very excited about this. And after the disappointment of my pool swimming season this year, it's very invigorating. It gives me renewed purpose and something to really focus on and remember, kind of why I'm doing all of this. So very excited about that. So that's the big news for this week. Starting to build training plan. Again, I think the training plan is to really begin by building a plan for Catalina next summer. I have an individual, a coach, who also can be very helpful with the logistics of the Catalina swim, the boat and the crew and whatnot. Catalina is not quite as bureaucratically difficult as the channel. There are, I suspect, fewer people that try to do that crossing and more boats available to do it. And being stateside and in general, I think it's going to be an easier logistical plan. And of course, you do have the terrifying element of having to start at like midnight in order to get the tides right when you swim from Catalina to Long Beach. It's you have to swim through the night in order to time the tides correctly, and so that'll be fun. I'll have a one of those light kind of things that they'll attach to the ass of my swimsuit so that they can see me. And you do have in addition on that swim, unlike the channel, I believe you have a kayaker with you as well as the lead boat. So anyway, so preparing, going to work with this coach to build my training plan, the yardage and the acclimation plan, the timing. I'm going to just continue my training as I'm doing now, maybe put my yardage up a little bit, focus on more longer distance and less shorter distance sprinting. And really that would be my plan anyway, because I'm training for Big Shoulders in September and the buck to buck 5 mile swim in St. Croix in November. So it fits nicely with the training plan as we get into next year. Obviously we'll have to work on our acclimation plan for the cold water. Maybe spend some time in Chicago swimming in Lake Michigan, maybe try to go out to California and swim in the Pacific in the water that I'll be swimming in, for a month or so leading up to the race. We'll just have to see what the best plan is, but it's pretty exciting and a little terrifying. But if it weren't a little bit terrifying and challenging, where would the trick be, right? So anyway, very excited about this, and I think it gives me new kind of raison d'etre around my swimming. So anyway, so what else have I got this week? We sort of updating. My hamstring is nearly fully healed. I still can feel it. I wouldn't even call it pain. I can still feel that it isn't 100%, but the training in swimming, kick sets, being able to do breaststroke kick, being able to dive, off the blocks where the need to arise, those things are all perfectly possible right now. I'm getting ready to begin again my EMS training, the electrical muscle stimulation, in an effort to build muscle mass. I've continued with a protein-heavy diet through the period of rehabbing my injury. But I'm pretty confident that I can go back now to trying to do some lifting, muscle building, and in addition to being cardiovascularly really strong, to attempt the types of swims that I'm going to need to attempt, or that I'm going to attempt, I'm going to need to really build in some muscle mass, kind of fight through the aging process to the extent that one can, understanding that Father Time is undefeated, but that there are things that it looks like people can do now to build muscle mass into their 60s, which will be important, for the challenges that I'm trying to reach. So again, very exciting. Let's see. That's kind of it on the swimming and the lifting training front. All good stuff. I would add one more small reminder. At the end of the first quarter, so the first week of April, or actually it was April Fool's Day, as my April Fool's message, I was encouraging those that are thinking about a strategy for risk and liquidity in their retirement. That is, you want to spend as much money as you can without running out of money. And one way to do that is to have a few years, say 3 years of spending set aside in a reserve pool, cash equivalents essentially, and then put the rest in just a diversified equity portfolio, whatever risk vehicle you're comfortable in. Personally, I just think a broad index fund is probably as good a strategy as most, but you may have a more nuanced palette for risk than I. But anyway, you do that, and then you spend your money out of the reserve pool, and when the market is up over the quarter, you sell a little bit to replenish what you just spent, and when the market is down, you let the reserve pool take the hit. And so at the end of the first quarter, I was encouraging people to sell a little bit of stock and replenish what they spent in the first quarter because the market was up. Once again, in the second quarter, same thing is true. So if you're following that type of approach, this would be a good time to take a little profit, put it into the reserve pool, and just keep spending away. So anyway, that's my little bit of financial information, which is again not an official recommendation and all of the legalese that one might put around that, but just a good common sense thought around the mixing of risk and liquidity. And again, I'm just thrilled to death over this opportunity to swim the English Channel, which is becoming more real. Anyway, with that, have a great day, have a great week. If you find this content interesting, please subscribe, tell your friends. If I get another 20 subscribers, I'll bring the guitar back out. I'll probably bring it out anyway. Anyway, have a great day. Talk to you soon.